Oh, thank you. And another person comes and says, what are you doing? I'm making soup from stone. Oh, well, I never heard of that before. And they go home and they see some nice spices. And they come back to her and said, hey, would you like to have some of these spices? I think it would be good for your soup. And it goes on and on and on. So other person brings some root vegetables, and some person brings some beans, and before you know it, she has this beautiful, beautiful soup. And then they all come back and she shares the soup with everyone. And so the purpose of that story is to show when everyone comes together and they all are sharing a similar purpose, then everyone contributes and it makes each person better for it. So 2 stories, both about stones. And so what I'm wondering is, which one of those stories resonates with you when you think of those 2? And if you think of it as a metaphor, which one to you aligns more with your values, with your understanding? So just think about that. And if somebody else would like to come up and share which one of those stories did you prefer, and how does that awaken something in you? Or if you want to share it to the person next to you. So let's just take a moment, share to the person next to you, which story did you like better and why? And if somebody wants to come up in front of the camera and say it, so we can have it recorded, I invite you to do that. Let's just do that for about a minute.
Next.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Good evening. Okay, personally, I resonate with Stone Soup story more because it consists of many people helping each other out to reach a common goal. So each people contributes something to the soup so that it makes a wonderful soup. So personally, I'm inspired by this Stone Soup story, and I also want to help people in any way possible for them to reach their goal. And I'm here in this appreciative inquiry because sometimes I'm not able to accept myself as who I am. I see so many flaws in myself. So I want to appreciate me more and also the people around me. And sometimes I get hurt because I have so many expectations from the people. And I want to minimize the expectations and accept who they are and how they are. Thank you.
That's beautiful, thank you. And I always remind myself, how I can tell you're a very kind person. And I know you would treat your neighbors and your fellow persons with respect. And why we would not do that to ourselves, right? We have to be as kind to ourselves as we would be to our neighbor.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so I hope you enjoyed those 2 stories and
Maybe one more reflection.
Pardon?
One more reflection.
Sure, please.
Okay. Please come, Samriddhi.
Hello, Jennifer.
Good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
Okay, so I'm Samriddhi and I'm a filmmaker. So my job is basically working with a lot of people, with a team. You can't make films alone, maybe small scale ones, but when you work in a large group, there are lots of people involved. So I could relate more with the stone soup theory that you explained the story. And seeing that story from a different angle, what I saw was by adding something to it, other people actually made the initial woman's soup better, because she was only trying to cook with the soup. So a huge part of my job is to bring out the best in others, from actors, from cameramans, because I'm working as a director, so most of my job is like not mine. It is so related. Everybody does their job, and my job is just to make their job better by seeing things from a different perspective. So I could relate more with that story. And sometimes in my field, you get annoyed with people because they have their own tantrums and so appreciative inquiry. I think this training might help me to see things from other people's angle and be more patient with people, and especially the stone soup theory will help me in my profession and in my personal life, because you know how to bring out the best in people by contributing your part in it. So that's what I learned. So thank you very much.
Thank you. And it's interesting being a filmmaker, like you have a vision, you want to make the film, but you storyboard it and you have, just the very beginning, but other people make it happen.
Yeah.
Just like what she was doing is, was she even doing that on purpose? If I just stand here long enough stirring my pot with water and stones and I just share with people my vision, they will make it happen. So she was kind of directing the whole thing as well. So that shared vision. And there's a framework or two that I think will be very useful for you that I'm going to be going over soon. So
Yeah, okay.
I'm looking forward to getting to that to you.
Thank
you. All right, so we're going to start going through some of these slides and the frameworks, and I can give a copy of the slides as well afterwards. I can email it, and you'll have it for later. And I'll be going through them. And again, if there are certain questions, you can put it in the messenger chat, or I can do that. So the outcome of this session is really, once you listen to the frameworks and learn more about appreciative inquiry and how I have come to understand it and use it in my line of work, the outcome is that you're going to have meaningful conversations, you can see right here. And there's ways to do it with organizations, and someone had mentioned teams. You can do it when you have meetings, conferences like we're doing today. And there's so many different opportunities to improve relationships on these different levels. And so it will help relationships both individually and as organization, and really it has the power to make a change and shift things very, very quickly. The way we use these frameworks